Hello everyone. In this video, this is going to be a part 2 because the last video I made was how I got treated differently and how I felt about it in K by 12 and how I was raised in special education all my life. And now I'm going to show you the examples how they treated me differently and how I was treated specially different compared to other kids with autism and other disabilities too, because I'm just very unique in that way, and I just needed that support that other people didn't have compared to me. So, special educational teachers, my mainstream teachers, my teacher assistants, my peer educators, they, for the most part, knew that I had autism. They knew I had someone with me in school when I was in middle school and high school. And the peer educators are trained to work with kids and students with autism and other various disabilities, and they have to follow my contract because IOP is a official document that they have to follow for my education needs, my emotional needs, how I receive services, and blah blah blah. There's all these different categories of what I need in school they have to follow. I have an IP contract for school, and I now, through my life coaches and job coaches, I have a service agreement contract for adulthood. And I'll be making another video of what that is, but both of them control how I need these supports and how I receive it. So on to what I have for like my tool set. So I have sensory issues and sensory processing disorder, and I was able to chew gum, have my chewy toys that I bite on because I needed that sensory input. I was able to twist a lanyard and have stress balls. And the other thing I was able to have was I was able to suck and chew on Red Hots, and that's like a spicy candy, and that was a good way to calm me down too when I was in a stressful situation at school. And the last thing was like breaks and walks to reduce my stress level. And these are just some of the examples. I have a lot more that was on my IP and on my service plan that I'm not going to go into right now, but I just wanted to share some of what I had. And the most thing I had was like chewing and like something in my hands. Those were like the two things. Chewing on something, eating something like Red Hots, stress balls, and breaks. Like all those were very important to me, as long with the other things too. I was able to just do a lot more and calm myself down with a emotional support person, teacher that helped me cope with my emotions and my anxiety levels when I was hurting myself, when I was frustrated and yelling and stuff. So in elementary school, I was able to chew gum in elementary school. I was pulled out of class for services like OT, speech, and taking breaks. In middle school, I had a one-on-one person on me like most of the day because it was very stressful and I needed that support at that time. It was one-on-one, so I had someone with me all the time, and I needed someone there because I was just too emotional and I could get frustrated just like that, and I could blow up like a volcano. So in middle school, I always had that support buddy system in place. All of my mainstream classes were one-on-one, so I had someone with me helping with my academics, writing notes, and making sure I was okay, and just working with me and making sure I was just not emotional, and they reassured me that everything was going to be okay. And they helped me when I was just very not in a good state of mind. So they pulled me out of class and we worked one-on-one in the resource room. And that was a really good experience too, because when I got emotional, they treated me differently than typical students with disabilities, I feel like, because I was able to just do some accommodations and spend extra time with them alone when I knew I needed that support. And then in high school was a lot different too, because in high school, I took a lot of stress breaks, and that was good because I was able to just walk out of the room and take breaks whenever I needed to relax myself. But it was just crowded too because it was high school and kids were in the hall, so I felt like, well, it helped a little bit. I was able to sit on the furnace heater. In one of my classes, they have like, it's like above, so you have to climb up on the furnace heater, and then there's a window. So some kids like us in school was able to do that, and instead of sitting in a desk, I was on top of a furnace heater, and that was good for my sensory issues when I needed heat. So I was sitting on top of like a window ledge. So that was good because it was on top of the heater, and I loved that. And I knew most people wouldn't allow that for that to happen in the classroom, but it was a special education classroom, so I got away with some other things too. And they knew if they tried to move me, I would get more frustrated. So they just had to kind of like know their limits on when it got frustrated if they had to really do something about it. I also was able to have my feet on the chair that was sitting next to me. So that was good too because I don't like having my legs like on the ground sometimes. I like sitting on them. I like moving them and having them out like this instead of like this. So that was great too because I was wearing my Crocs, so sometimes I was barefoot, and my teachers allowed me to just like kind of relax in school and kind of like have my own time, because some teachers say no feet on anything but the floor. Another thing I had was I had my own table in the back of a class when I was in high school, when I was taking my special educational class with my special educational teacher that I worked with all throughout my high school career. I was allowed to have my own space every time I was in the class, and there was a paraeducator too and a teacher, but I had the whole table. It was like 4 chairs like here and a big table, and the other desk were connected to the chairs, and it was too tight, it was too restricting. I didn't want to like sit in that little chair, so I had the whole table to myself, and that really helped me regulate my emotions. I got to observe the classroom and not be in it, so that was really good too. And I was able to eat some of my snacks because that helped me with my sensory issues and helped me with my emotions too. So that was kind of like some of the things that they did for me, but they had to work with me personally too, and they had to treat me different. And I knew I was always treated differently. I know that. I know that people notice things like that, but these are like some of the examples I wanted to share with you because I did get special privileges than other people, especially in middle school. I was able to like kind of like have more time to myself and just have a room where I could just relax, not have any distractions. And when I was very tensed up and was hurting myself and was very upset. So I really appreciate how these examples of how I got treated differently was on my IEP, is on my service plan. When I have my life coaches with me, they have to like kind of like follow that plan too. But besides that, they treat me different as a person with a disability because I'm just very unique, and I can tell that other people with disabilities, they get treated in a different way, but I'm just like I'm like out and above like what they think I am compared to why I am diagnosed with autism. It's just a weird dynamic, and I really appreciate that they really go beyond their job, like my life coaches, my job coaches, all the staff at the schools. They really did care about how I succeeded in school and how they helped me emotionally wise too. So that's my story. I hope you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.